We are live at the 2017 Canadian Under-25 Championships. I'm Jake Chuknik, joined by Daryl Fitzgerald. How are you doing this morning, Daryl?
I'm doing great. Good morning, everybody.
Bright and early here in Nova Scotia. This morning we've got on rink 1 in front of us Braeden Campbell from Nova Scotia against Ben Van Steijn from Ontario. Braeden has orange bowls while Ben has, would you call that, a bluish color?
Blue with yellow speckles, yeah. Should be a good match. Both of these competitors were in the under 18 event that was just preceding this, as well as the Forster Lang pairs. So they should be primed to play some good bowls.
They were in opposite pools of the under 18, so they didn't actually get to play against each other in the event. But they will here.
Great bowl there by Braeden, sneaking close up to the jack.
I think this is the first time for both of them to play in the under-25 event, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe you're right. So two newbies on the stream right away. Should be interesting.
I know my first year for the under-25s after playing under-18s. I got gold in the under-18s and then just got absolutely destroyed in the under-25s, which was a bit of an eye-opener at the different level of competition.
It is a different level of competition. Some of these guys have been playing for many, many years, even in the under-25s, so they're primed and ready to go.
Looks like it's one for Braeden right now, pretty wide open.
But both these guys are seasoned bowlers. They've been in really tight games, both in their province and nationally. So I'm sure they'll put on a great performance here for us.
And Braden's drawn a second one there. Do you think Ben will still be trying to play weight at that? His last bowl, it looked like he was well through the head.
Well, it's the first end. Generally, I recommend trying to get your weight down for a draw early, but he just threw some weight. If he actually sneaks that jack back, he could score a quick 3 and put him in an interesting position.
He's talking to his coach, Cheryl Milligan, at the back. Cheryl Ann is, of course, sister to Dan Milligan, and Dan is Mr. MVP Sports. Dan and Brenda, big, longtime supporters of the junior and under-25 program.
This is one of those risk versus reward kind of shots, so it looks like a little weight here.
Well wide and through the holes. So that should be 2 for Braeden, I would think.
Yeah. Can't fault him for going for it.
Yeah, the double was there if he would have connected onto Braden's front. Or a jack back for 3.
Yeah.
2, and they're going to take a look. No, just 2.
No, just 2. Already seen some aggressive play in rink 1 and end 1, so this could be an interesting game.
This could be. I was watching the bronze medal match for the under-18s, and Braeden sure knows how to fire, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of drives coming out of him when things get tight.
Yeah, he's not one to hold back. that's for sure.
No, he's not. I get the feeling they like to throw drives here in Nova Scotia. I've seen Cam LaFrenz throw many a drive in his day. The two of them have pretty wicked backswings when they wind up.
That's true. You know when you get in a game with one of those guys that if the drive is there, they will take it.
So Braden's elected to go to his backhand here, the non-ditch side, and that looks to be a pretty good draw. Came back nicely. It's interesting with Ben's delivery, he puts the bowl on the ground before going through his backswing delivery.
It is a unique delivery, but I've seen many good bowlers do that. It's a preference. It is unique. It's generally not something that you would teach someone right off the bat, but they pick it up here or there.
Braden's just through, a couple yards. Big thanks to our sponsors and partners, the Government of Canada through Sport Canada, the Coaching Association of Canada, Kukri, our official clothing supplier, MVP Sports, longtime supporter of the junior program, and lawnbowlingmanager.com. If you're looking for a club management tool, I'd strongly recommend going to lawnbowlingmanager.com. Get a free demo. See how they can help out your club to be a little more organized and efficient. Braden's asking for the count here, and Lena says it's a measure. Marker on this rink is Lena Cameron, co-chair of the Junior Under 25 Championships. Big thanks to Lena and Anne-Marie Seitman for putting on a great show.
Oh, Braeden may have just flopped himself in for shot.
If it was a measure before, it should be a clear one now.
Yeah. I think that Ben is just going to try to play a similar shot to his last. If he catches the jack and drags it through, it's good. If he draws just up, it should be shot.
He might have.
It's close.
Can't tell.
It's hard to tell from this angle, but it's definitely a measure.
Looks like Lena and Ben are having a quick chat about. I saw Lena making the measuring motion. Braden's still electing to go with his backhand, and I think he's through the head again.
Just through, yeah.
It's a bit of a... I think if I were Braeden, I probably would have switched hands, to be honest. I'd be a little worried about grabbing the jack on my way through. Ben has two there just waiting for it.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they found something in trials where the ditch side on some of these end rinks tend to hold out, so maybe he just wasn't confident in playing that shot at the moment. But Ben should have no problem. If he does happen to catch that jack, it's really good for him. If he picks this,
I think he was going to pick the bowl for three there.
For 3 or 4, if he stayed around, yeah.
Just missed though.
It looks like it's a measure. I think Braden's gone to find a measure in his pack.
Ben says he's got one in his pocket the whole time. And as always, if you're watching or whether you're working or whatnot, reach out to us on Facebook or Twitter at BCB Official on Facebook and at BCB Bowls on Twitter. We'd love to hear from you. Let us know you're watching. Give us some questions or comments.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you. The best part of these streams is when it's interactive and we know people are out there watching. We can hear from you, talk to you, answer questions, have some conversation. It just makes it for a much, much better broadcast.
So that was one for Braeden there. Make it 3-0. Of course, the under 25 event here, we're playing first to 21 points, which is 3 more than the under 18s.
Got a mid to long jack here. Braden's gone to the ditch side on this one, so he's kind of playing around the clock from end to end. He's made an excellent shot here. Probably just a foot and a half through.
Absolutely. We've got Jane Boyd watching on the live stream as well. Wants to know some scores going around the rinks, especially the women's game. So we'll update you now and then. We've got rink 2, Brandon Watson of Saskatchewan's up 5-0 over Michael Fraser of Ontario. Rink 3, Luke Caldwell's up 3-1 over John Seitman. Rink 4, in the women's match, we have Sydney Boyd up 3-0 over Kara Webster. On 5, Kamla Friends is up 2-0 over Josh Cameron. Rink 6, Owen Kirby's up 3-0 over Carter Watson. On 7, they're tied 1-1 between Alex LeBlanc and Grant Wilkie.
Braeden just catching Braeden's shot out there. Flopping in. Braeden again just sliding through. It seems to be easier to throw a couple feet.
A little over 2 feet through.
Good question.
So Ben is lying 1 with his familiar stir stick in mouth. I think he's quite short on this one.
Yeah.
He's urging it on, trying to get it there, but
Players still trying to find that perfect weight.
they have an interesting way of rolling the greens here on this carpet. It was very dewy this morning, so when the players were practicing, you could see the lines very, very well. But they came out with these little, almost squeegee-like rollers to change that up.
Yeah, they dried up pretty quick. Looking like they're running well. Got a nice breeze rolling in, which is nice for the competitors. The sun isn't too hot, so
Yeah, it's a beautiful day here in Dartmouth.
I
So if you're
believe we
in
have a
the
drive
area,
coming in.
come on down. Yeah, we do. Braeden Campbell's winding up to scatter some bowls, but I think he just picked out his own.
Yeah.
Hey, we got Ryan Stadnick watching. All the way down in Niagara Falls, Ontario. Ryan's fresh off trip to Australia, along with Kamla Friends, one of the competitors here, and Priscilla Westlake, as they were in the Gold Coast back in April and May, I believe.
Yeah, and when I spoke to Ryan recently, asked him how things went and down there, and he said it was just paradise. So I know that probably gave him the itch to do well and get back there as soon as possible.
It really is paradise down at Broad Beach in Gold Coast. The central hub for lawn bowls for the next few years. Ben's looking to find Braeden and just rolled his
Oh,
over. That could have.
That's the shot bowl, so we'll see if that changed anything.
He was only lying 1 before that. See if he gave it away.
So we definitely weren't lying to you when we said that these guys like to play a little aggressive. That's what we've seen so far.
Wondering if Ben's keeping track of stats. He was scribbling some notes on his way down the green, and if it's a measure for shot here, then definitely couldn't have been writing down the score.
Yeah, some of these players you'll see, or even their coaches, writing down some stats for them, trying to get a measure for their performance, so they know, like, you can win and you can play not to your best, and you can lose and you can have the best game of your life.
Mm-hmm.
So it's to understand, you know, you really did play well, win, lose, or draw, or you have some stuff to work on, win, lose, or draw. It's a good way to understand where you are and how you're doing.
Yeah, I think it is definitely worth seeing if you can go back and look in a year or two and say, hey, you know what, I played really well and here's stats to prove it, or vice versa.
Yeah. It looks like Ben wants to play a shorter jack.
It is a much shorter jack. John Seidman over on ring 3 just made a nice little trail for 3.
Yeah. You'll definitely hear John across the rinks the next little while. he's definitely excited to play bowls, and especially when he has a close one, he'll let you know.
Yeah, yes he will. He's a very enthusiastic player.
Ben with a fine opener here,
Yeah,
but
he
jack high.
wanted a shorter jack and seems to suit his weight. Braden's not far away though.
No, he's made an excellent shot here himself.
That is probably shot after that flops in. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Early predictions for this game?
I think it's going to be a tight one when it's all said and done. These guys have been playing really well. We'll definitely see some fireworks, but I'm not sure I have a prediction for who's going to win this one, because these end rinks can be tricky, and it's who finds it more consistently. Braeden making 2 excellent shots here on both hands, so
Friendly rub there using Ben's bowl. Ben's chasing this down. I think he might be close. Just chipped the jack the wrong way.
Probably not what he was looking for, but at least it gives him a chance to draw around it. See what Braeden does here.
That might have been the point of no return out there. That's leaning against the bias. That didn't want to come back.
Yeah, no, it was fighting it all the way down. I know these off-center jacks, whether it's one side or the other, it offers some challenges to the players to find that new line that may not actually be there.
Ben has some pretty good weight there. I don't think that'll be good enough for shot though. Braden's taking a look. One more to come.
It's definitely one for Braeden. I don't think that outside one that hung. So Ben may have just cut him down to 1. Trying to make the adjustment, see if he can get off that little hang. But yes.
Oh, not quite.
Not quite.
I believe that'll be one for Braeden, unless the angles are different from the head. When we were talking to Terry O'Neill the other day, he said that the greens are actually faster when they're colder here, which is a little counterintuitive to what you would expect. So we'll see if that plays a toll as the day goes on and they start to warm up. That would mean they slow down a little bit.
I believe they just indicated one for Braeden, but
yeah, I think you're right on that. So we'll be streaming all day today. Assuming the weather is cooperative tomorrow, we'll try to stream tomorrow too, but they are calling for rain. And then Monday will be the semifinals and finals. And we'll take a few days hiatus before we're back. Next Monday is the start of the majors out in Victoria, BC. We'll be live streaming all week.
Braeden with an excellent opener here. Again, just jack high.
I was talking to Terry about who his favorites were coming into this event, and he said, you know, just because Braden's from Nova Scotia doesn't mean he actually plays here much. He's only been here once or twice all year, so can't really say that he knows the greens a whole lot better than anybody else, but once or twice is better than none.
Yeah, yes.
Certainly not as knowledgeable as Terry was. Terry was telling me what every rink would do going every direction. He's been here long enough to know these greens inside and out.
Another good ball there from Braeden. Just a little bit wide. Yeah, knowledge of these greens is definitely helpful because there are some tricky spots that, surprise some of the players every once in a while when they hit it. So
Yeah, there are some funky runs here and there, but given that this is an 11-year-old surface, that might be expected.
absolutely. All right, Braeden stalking this one down. I think he likes it.
Just around and good for 2 or 3.
Yeah, that's a good spot. Just about a foot behind, maybe a little more than a foot. Ben had excellent line on those last ones, so he's just trying to add a foot or two to just get really close to that jack. And he's running.
And he's got one of the bulls.
Yeah.
That might be third shot. Cut him down one, possibly. So yesterday, the under-18s and under-25 players played the Forsterling pairs, where they played, I believe, 5 games each, and then top seed of each pool played in the final, second seed of each pool played in the bronze medal match. And after that, they had a mini training camp led by Mr. Darryl Fitzgerald. How do you think that training camp went?
I think it went pretty well. The players seemed pretty receptive to the information I was giving them. They all listened very well. As expected, it's always hard to, I guess, to draw the answers to questions out of them, but they participated as much as they could. We had some fun games, and then we had some mini competitions at the end just to wrap things up and have a little fun. So I think it was just a good introduction to what we do at the national level as far as drills and information. Hopefully it gives them something to take home and use and come back better than ever the next time.
Ben was looking to draw a shot there. I'm not sure if he did. Great weight, but just a little wide. Yeah, from what I could see on the sidelines, it looked like the players were all having quite a bit of fun with those drills and games at the end there.
Yeah, I always try to throw something fun in. It's educational at the same time because not only do they get to interact with all the friends they've made during the week, but I get to see them interact, see who are the most positive, who does the cheering, who's the most helpful. It's really neat to see. Especially if some of the quieter ones that I saw during the week break out of their shell a little bit once they've met everybody.
Yeah, there were actually quite a few new to the scene juniors here this week, which is always encouraging to see.
Yeah, it's always neat to see the first timers out and just have them take it all in, meet new people, make some friends. It's quite a great environment for these guys.
So that was 2 for Braeden there to make it 6-1 now.
Yeah, so right now, judging by the first few ends, Braeden seems to be the most consistent with his draw and his weight. He's found a line on both sides, found his weight, so Ben's playing a little catch-up here, forcing some shots, so we'll see if Ben can settle down and find it. And as soon as I say that, Braeden drops one a couple feet short.
It's usually how that works. Well, he brought the mat up maybe a mat length or 2.
Ben with an excellent line, but definitely 5 or 6 feet short. Braden's added a little extra to this one. He's going to fly by it, but he caught the jack on the way, so...
That's going to be tricky now, the closer we get to this ditch side.
Yeah.
Playing that other hand can be...
Let's see how it plays.
Can be real tough.
Ben giving it a go.
I think he found a decent line, just his weight sailing through.
Yeah.
Braden's looking to play that same line, I think.
He's got some excellent weight here.
Yeah. Great
And
weight.
a toucher. Yeah, great shot there. But it does give something for Ben to rest on, because that was through to his line.
Yeah. Ben could throw almost the same bowl and get shot out of this, but he took quite a bit of weight off on this, I think. Yeah, maybe too much weight off. Still probably 2 for Braeden, I would think.
Braeden just looking to add to this. Even if he can bury the jack or hide it a little bit, will be beneficial to him.
That could be tricky for Ben now.
Could.
Most of their bowls have been sort of inside the jack there. You don't see any of them hanging out to the right. I think they're a little scared to go too much wider, as they both probably know that once you get out there, that's going to hang out.
Alright. So similar to Ben's shot down the side, but he's just catching it. If he had just been on the outside of that. But look at that benefit.
I think if he flops in, that might be shot.
He won't be mad at that.
No, no, can't complain with that.
He definitely wanted to be near the jack or near Braden's bowl that was close to it, and in doing that, he caught the edge of that short bowl and was able to just get a straightener out to it. So.
Braeden picked up the jack, so I guess that's still 1 for Braeden.
Yeah.
I thought he might have squeaked it out with that last bowl.
Yeah, it was close.
A lot of these games seem to be flying by here. Next door we got Brandon Watson up 8-zip over Mike Fraser. On the green beside that, Luke Caldwell's up 8-7 over John Siteman. The women's score is changing, so I'll come back to that. Cam LaFrenz is up 12-0 over Josh Cameron. Owen Kirby's up 6-4 over Carter Watson. And down at the end between Alex LeBlanc and Grant Wilkie are tied 4-4. See here, the women, I believe it's 7-5 for Kara Webster.
Excellent bowl from Braeden.
Oh, what a beauty opener. Ben will be looking to follow him down. Not a mile away, but just a yard short.
Yeah. Great line on that.
Braden's throwing a pretty good second there.
Yeah, that's a great spot, just in case that jack does squeak over.
Don't know if Ben added enough on this to get there.
No, it's about the same bowl as he threw.
Pretty consistent with his first. That's not good. You don't want to be plugging up, making a wall when you're down.
Yeah. Braeden seems to like this one.
Yeah, he's walking down after it, and that's a beautiful bowl
Yeah,
there.
it's
Just buried it in.
going to make it very tough.
That's going to be very tough on Ben now. I think his best option is to try to draw around to Braden's second shot and see if he can flop into the jack.
Yeah, that's an excellent choice, but he's added a bit of weight and he's going to hang out and just skate by.
Don't think you'll be able to see a drive at that from the mat unless you collide onto Ben's short bowl there.
Yeah, I think Braden's looking at that just to make sure he's safe when he's and what the angle is.
If he were to get it, I think the jack would go straight back. Ben now has a receiver there waiting.
Yeah. Wouldn't be surprised to see Ben Braeden just play a little extra, bump his second shot back, and sit again.
I think that's probably what I would play. I wouldn't be too concerned about getting the best back.
Yeah. And if he happens to go wide, he'll just skate by. He's in for 4 shots, but
That's
left a little bit of a wing there for him.
a wing there now. That's probably not what he was trying to do.
No, he's shaking his head. He knows.
He knows that's ugly.
Yeah.
That's ugly.
Surprisingly easy to do.
Yep.
You think, I just need to do what I did before, and you play the same weight. You just get a hair wide and leave a wing ball. It is a frustrating thing to do, but it's easy. Ben's not going to be short with this one.
Well, he's definitely trying here. He's in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
That's a great bowl.
Yeah.
2 and a look. That was a very crucial 4th bowl, as Braeden was lying 4 prior to that.
Absolutely. You hate to have to throw those clutch shots, but you need that in your back pocket. You know, everybody gets into trouble sometime.
Every now and then I've been glancing over at the other rinks, and rink 3 between Luke Caldwell and John Seidman, they've just been peppering the jack.
Yeah, it's been a very, very well played game.
Those 2 guys have really found their draw weight, and they've got the mat up, they've got the jack to the tee. Doesn't seem to phase either, they're just all over it.
Yeah.
That was 3 for Braeden there. Braden's got the mat up a couple feet again, playing a relatively short jack. And I think he's figured out that line pretty quick.
Yeah, he's been very consistent through the whole game so far. Ben's just looking to settle down, get a few points, get on some a little momentum ride, and claw his way back into this game. I've seen him do it before, so he's very capable of it. Just needs to find that weight and that draw.
It's funny how much of a difference momentum can make in a singles match. I find it really can change a game in singles more so than any other team game.
Excellent ball there. Yeah, I mean, it's just you out there. So if you can get on a momentum swing, feel good, don't feel the pressure, yeah, you can start squeezing points out of your opponent and just carry it right to a win.
Ben is still just struggling to find that perfect line and weight. Not sure if he was trying to just draw or push Braeden through there. Braeden will just be looking to continue building that head.
Yeah.
That's making a bit of a bigger target.
Yeah. Ben's just looking for a shot like last time. He's got a little extra weight on this, chasing it.
And it's diving.
Yeah.
There it goes.
It's a little bit of danger with playing weight. You kind of live by the sword, die by the sword. It's you miss those, and you're not going to end up anywhere that's useful.
It's interesting that Braden's leaving that alone. Switched hands to get a back pull. It's a smart move to cover your position, but I was wondering if he might stick to his backhand and try to change that angle up, maybe push his far left bowl back, change up an angle or 2.
It's an option, but I think being up 10-1, he's going to cover his spot just in case Ben does happen to play weight again and force Ben to play that clutch shot. Keeps that pressure on Ben, and
he's up the weight a lot more there, and he's got it.
Catch it.
I think he was hoping that the jack would collide off his bowl.
begin.
His thrown bowl is dead, which would make it just
It's an interesting measure because one's way off to the border and the other one's straight ahead. So from this angle, it's hard to see. It looks like Braden's closer, but
Yeah, I can't tell.
indeterminate.
Braeden likes one for...
Oh, he's giving one to Ben.
One
All
to
right.
Ben. That'll make it 10-2.
Yeah, let's see if Ben can pick his line and weight and start building his own momentum. All you need is one at a time.
Yeah.
Don't need the groups, so.
Yeah, that's true.
Looks like on rink 3 that back and forth game between John Seidman and Lucas Caldwell is taking a turn. I believe Luke picked up a 4 in that last end. It's now 15-7 for Luke Caldwell.
Yeah, and his first bowl is half an inch from the jack. He drove all the way here with Alex LeBlanc from Ontario. That was a lengthy drive, which they're more than happy to talk about.
Yeah.
It was long.
Sometimes you only get to do that once, so why not while you're young and Right, Ben with a great opening bowl here.
Braeden was asking Lena how far short Ben is of the jack, and she said 14 inches, but you know, it's interesting how different markers will tell you different ways, whether they use inches, yards, feet, centimeters. There's no universal unit of measurement for distance.
Yeah, some won't even say a word. They'll just hold their fingers up
Yep.
in a space, or even from the ground say, you know, this is kind of how far they are. That's why I always say if you're in doubt and it's a tight head, you definitely got to go up and look for yourself. Because oh, what a shot!
Beauty bowl by Braeden there, and just found the gap. He is right beside the jack. Great shot. Ben is playing this ditch side to see if he can find it, but I don't think it's going to come back in time. He did find that center line, though.
Yeah. Ben definitely leans on the side of playing the push bowl, where seeing Braden's just hang out to that side of the jack. He just wants to push through and sit 3 or even trail that jack off. So. Ben just getting a little narrow. He was looking for that same pathway to the jack.
Ben is playing it again to see if he can push it out. This time he's inside. He's got his bowl onto the jack.
Oh,
back
and there's
for
a
2.
fortunate push on him.
Yeah,
Could be sitting 2.
Fortuitous result. So we had to change up the schedule a little bit today. Rather than switching north, south, east, west, we're going to have them playing this direction all day, which meant a couple of rinks had to change. So round 2, we're going to be streaming Kara Webster versus Priscilla Westlake. We're going to be bringing them over to the TV rink. Round 3, we'll have Cam LaFrenz against Grant Wilkie. And round 4 will be Carter Watson against Alex LeBlanc. So that'll be what we'll be streaming on rounds 2, 3, and 4 for the rest of the day. And then tomorrow, we'll be streaming whatever's on rink 1 or 2, most likely.
Braeden just taking his time.
I was wondering if he might throw a drive at that, but I don't think so.
No.
to draw around his outside bowl. That's interesting. There must be a decent draw on that ditch side still. Yeah, look
Yeah,
at
it
that
came
come back.
in.
Came back.
I think he was just hoping to draw a shot, even come down to 1 would be good. Dropping another point's not a big deal when you're up 10-2.
Mm-hmm. He's kicked out 1 already. And it's 2.
2 for Ben. Yeah.
That makes it 10-4.
So there are some slight variations between the under 25 and the under 18 game. I believe they play to a different point total, don't they?
Yeah. The under 25s play to 21, while the under 18s only play to 18. Could make for a bit of a different game when you only play to 18. As soon as your opponent's at 15, 16, they can win at any end. So you might need to start playing a little more aggressive and playing shots you wouldn't normally, but not the case here. You can let your opponent get to 15 or 16 without having to worry. It's not until 17 or later that they can win it in any given end.
Yeah, restriction on movement for players. Usually they're not allowed to go and visit the head until they've rolled 3 bowls, but they can ask permission when they're not sure what's going on. So you could just hear one player yelling down to the marker and asking if he could visit the head to take a look.
John Seidman wanted to go take a look because Luke Caldwell's up 18 to 7. So that could be the first rink off. They're flying through that game. Next door, Brandon Watson's up 10-3 over Mike Fraser. Kamler Friends is up 13-3 over Josh Cameron. Owen Kirby's up 9-5 over Carter Watson. And at the very end, Alex LeBlanc and Grant Wilkie are tied at 6-6. I think every time I've mentioned the score, they've been tied down on that far rink.
I think that's right.
And for the women's match, Kara Webster is up 13-5 over Sydney Boyd. While I've been babbling about scores here, Braden's drawn a nice close one. Ben is looking to push him out, and I think he just pushed on Braden's short bowl to give him a little bit of a better position.
Yeah. Braden's just looking to squeeze through those 2 blue bowls, but he's thrown it just a bit narrow. He's going to fly over to Ben's farther bowl.
Weight's great for 5 out of those 6 bowls, though. Well, I guess 4 out of.
Based on Ben's previous play, I would assume he's going to play a little bit of weight into this to try to pop Braden's out and push his in.
Depending on which hand he plays, it almost looks like the angle there is for Braden to go right onto the jack, depending on how he hits it.
That's right.
I'm sure Ben is looking to get Braden clean. Doesn't want any jack movement on that.
No, he just wants to pop him out, roll his in, and possibly the bowl that he rolls. Yeah, he's got a little weight.
Yeah, a little controlled weight here.
There he goes.
I definitely didn't see it that way, but that might have been what he was playing for. It's a great shot.
I don't think that was quite what he was playing for. You could see that he was begging it to draw in, because that side can hang a little bit. But I think he was trying to get that inside bowl to push out. But you can't argue with the result.
Braden was lining up those 2 bowls of Ben's. I think we might see a drive here. If he can double those out without any jack movement, be line 2. Yeah, Braden's lining up for a drive.
Yeah, he's got that look in his eye. See if I can switch fast enough.
Just through the ports.
Yeah.
The backboards here are made of a composite type material, and it is a really loud bang, smack dead.
Yeah, when we first showed up, I thought it was concrete, but you look a little closer, it's definitely composite. So.
Well, that's 2 for Ben. He's slowly clawing his way back into this game here. It's 10-6 now.
Yeah, that's all you need. Point here, point there. Slowly but surely. Too often players get a little bit behind and try to get the multiple points to catch up quicker, but you got to play solid and smart. You can't just go for those big scores.
Getting a little breezy here. Wind's picking up. I don't know if that'll have any sort of effect on the bowls here. Not sure if the greens are fast enough for it to really make a whole lot of difference. As always, if you're in the area, come on down to the Dartmouth Lawn Bowls Club. We'll be here today, tomorrow, and Monday. Love to have you here.
Ben trying to just add a few more feet to that last bowl.
I think he's done it.
Yeah, great bowl here.
Yeah, that's within a mat length. Braeden switching hands now. Looks to be pretty close if he's there. I think he
That's a
is.
brilliant bowl right there.
Great bowl. Webbo.
Right, Ben switching hands too. Gonna try to follow him down.
I think this rink 1 is a much more playable rink than going the other direction. What a great shot there from Ben. Push Braeden out to lie 2 and a look. See if Braeden can replicate the exact same shot, but I don't think so. He looks a little wider.
Yeah.
A little wider and a shade quicker.
Yeah, it looks like Ben's starting to find the line for those slight overweight pushes. And they're working out for him these last couple ends to give him looks at 2s and 3s.
Good old Ontario draw, as they call it.
That's right.
6 feet through the head, crash onto something. Ben's having a chat here with his coach about what to do, because you know that Braeden can fire. If he gets the jack back square, that's 4.
Yeah.
So do you cover the back or try to maybe bury the jack?
I'd be thinking Ben would be playing the outside hand, come around his bowls to the back. If he does happen to chip it forward,
Yeah,
then he's good. Yeah, that's about right.
back to his forehand. I don't think he threw enough weight to really get back there, though.
Nah, he played a little too safe, just getting outside and hanging. I think he wanted to be underneath that orange and in. Split those 3 bowls so that if the jack goes back, it's not going to be more than 1.
I don't think Braeden's sure what he wants to play yet, the way he's sort of questioning this head, because you can go bare jack for 4, but if you miss that, you're giving up 2, maybe 3.
Yeah, taking a good look at just how many it is.
Could even just play maybe a couple feet through for a trail back for 3 as well.
Yeah. You make contact with that shot bowl, you'll sit. You don't want to play too heavy, I don't think, on this.
I've heard a lot of players have a rough time throwing a drive on this green because it is such a soft carpet that it'll bounce a little bit. So if you don't have a nice smooth delivery and it goes for a bounce, then you can't really control it.
That's right. And even half an inch one way or the other, and you're not making that shot. So, well, maybe we're wrong here.
It's winding up for a drive, yeah. Could be close. Got it. So that should be good for 3 then.
Toucher in the ditch.
Toucher in
Plus
the
2,
ditch.
yeah, well.
Took out his other bowl, but That's funny though. The bull that he actually hit was a toucher, I think. I saw a white mark on it, but it went out of bounds on the side, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, the one straight back is a toucher. Sometimes it's hard with the drive when there's multiple bowls in play. Someone's got to be watching to see which one's the toucher, which one's not, especially if they all go into the ditch.
So that'll be 3 for Braeden.
Yeah.
Pretty good bear jack drive.
That's right.
I saw they were having a bit of a driving contest the other day. See who could hit what the best.
Yeah.
Most of these games are starting to really get close to the end here. They're really trucking along. Next door, Brandon Watson's up 15-3 over Mike Fraser. Luke Caldwell's up 18-9 over John Siteman. Kara Webster's up 18-5 over Sydney Boyd. Cam LaFrenz is up 16-5 over Josh Cameron. Owen Kirby and Carter Watson are all tied up at 9, and Grant Wilkie is up 13-6 over Alex LeBlanc.
Braeden with an excellent opening bowl here. Almost jack high, probably half a foot off.
Could be a tricky thing to throw a drive like that and then try to draw your next bowl.
That's right.
Admittedly, he threw the jack first, but it's a pretty good jack throw too.
Ben with a good answer here.
Beauty draw there from Ben. Lena's quick to go up and chalk, and the players are always just saying, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, they don't play slow. Can't fault them for that.
Big thanks to Ron Cameron and his umpire crew this week.
Oh, just missing that one.
Just needed another quarter inch on that, and he would have had the jack clean.
Ben just trying to replicate his last. Just going to come up a little short on this.
And we have our first game in the books on Rink 3. Luke Caldwell just beat John Siteman 21-9 as they shook hands. Only been playing for about 52 minutes, so pretty quick game.
Braeden playing for that push off and trail, considering he's only down 1. Trying to make it difficult on Ben.
And Ben switched hands now. I think he's trying to cover the back there.
Yeah.
Get to a good spot waiting. And that's an excellent pull there.
Oh, he even got a little back out to split the two.
Thought that was going to end up in an even better position, but back out held it up a bit.
I don't think that's going to deter Braeden, but
I think Braeden took the weight off now and is just looking for a clean draw. That's a pretty good second
that's
shot.
a great draw. It's going to be hard for Ben to get to. Maybe trail it himself.
Yeah. Yeah, you could trail it for 3 if he gets the right perfect kiss. Ben's coming up far short. I think he was a little scared to touch it.
Yeah.
So that'll be another one for Ben Van Stein to make it 13-7. Different here from what we saw yesterday is that when the heads are pretty obvious, they'll call the score as they're walking down the green still and kicking the bowls, and then that speeds up the game pretty quickly to be able to start kicking in the bowls before your opponents even reached the head.
Absolutely. There's a good trust between a lot of these players that they're not going to try to cheat them out of points. If both of them have looked at the head before the last couple bowls and nothing's changed, they already know what's happening. And in tight situations, they'll wait, make sure they're there to say, one or two.
Malcolm White watching the game from Ontario. Future of bowls looks good on the greens there. Congrats, Malcolm, on your new child. Born, what, 4 or 5 days ago?
His future mixed pairs partner, I think.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Could be future women's pairs if he ever gets his wife out playing.
There you go. Build a white dynasty
White
out in
dynasty.
Burlington.
Learned a few things when we were at WOBA a few weeks ago. We were hearing some stories about how Gary White used to play back in the 70s and 80s. I had no idea that Gary's been playing for so long. Great draw there from Braeden. Excellent pull.
The White family's been a big part of Burlington Lawn Bowls for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
And both Trevor and Malcolm won their fair share of events.
Nice little chip there from Ben. Yeah, I think it was on Facebook that I saw a comment from Malcolm saying that Heritage might have the most junior titles of any club. I didn't really think about that until now, but Andrew Wagner won 2. Owen just won 1 here to make that 3.
That's right. Yeah, we've had quite a number of good juniors come through. We have a former junior champion, Caitlin Ryan, that's also at Heritage, but she belonged to the Kitchener Lawn Bowling Club when she was winning those titles. So there's quite a few good young bowlers that have come out of the Kitchener-Waterloo area. Great bowl there.
He didn't really need the kiss, but he got just a very slight graze on his way through to make it an even better shot.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Heritage Club, they just hosted the newly revamped WOBA tournament. It's been going on since 1895, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. How do you think it ran this year, the new 3-day men's tourney?
No, I think it was excellent. Heritage Greens was definitely excited to try to host the newly revamped WOBA, and I know the group behind WOBA were happy to try something new and see if they could inspire more bowlers to come out. The new format was fun and exciting. You got to play a lot of bowls. You got to play a lot of people. Really good bowlers in the area. And the prizes were great, so all around I think it was just a great environment, great competition, and I think the friendship and camaraderie that was displayed there over that 3 days was just excellent. I'm sure if Ryan Stadnick's still listening, he was a huge part of that, running the draw. I'm surprised he has any hair left, trying to play and do the draw, but I know he and the whole WOBA committee did an excellent job.
Yeah, I really liked how he had the big scoreboard up there in front of the desk so you could go and see how your team was doing. Started off with 4s on Sunday, and then triples and singles on Monday, and playoffs and finals for both on the Tuesday.
Braeden with 2 excellent bowls to finish off that end, after Ben made a nice conversion shot to drag it over to himself.
Should push him up to 15 now.
We'll let Ben take a look.
With the new WOBA format, played 5 games a day of 10 ends, but 10 ends is a pretty quick game that goes by so quickly that you don't really realize you're playing so many ends, but you are, and it's great. It's a lot of bowling. It's a lot of great bowling. You play against great teams. I certainly hope that it'll keep growing bigger and bigger.
So if you are out there listening in other provinces other than Ontario, even in Ontario, I know WOBA's looking to fill the ranks with top bowlers from all around the country and even the United States. So the more the merrier. You get some great competition. You can come up for 3 or 4 days and play some some great bowls on some great greens and have a lot of fun.
Well, there's been some talks about making it a pretty good week with the Bill Becker Memorial Tournament is the Saturday beforehand, and that's men's pairs. So that's an extra day of bowling if it still stays in the same place in the schedule for next year.
That's the idea. As many know that Bill Becker was a huge part of Canadian bowls, won a number of medals internationally. He was a huge part of Heritage Greens and the building of it, and still has a legacy there, donating some money to keep the club going. So we have a memorial tournament which runs every year, is packed with top-notch bowlers, and it goes right along with WOBA. So it makes for a number of days of really great competitive bowls.
As we've been talking here, Braeden's got a bowl that's a foot short. To be lying at least one, probably two, until Ben's coming down. I think he's a little too quick again. I think Ben's really struggling on this length.
Braeden was quick on the mat.
Quick on the mat and quick to come down and
I think he
chase
just
his
wants
bowl
to
a bit.
keep his groove, and he's definitely
beauty
found
bowl.
it. What a great bowl.
What a shot. I would have to think, given on how Ben's been playing so far this game, that he's going to play a little bit of controlled weight just inside to try to push Braeden out or grab the jack.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And
I think you're
he is
right.
playing a little bit of weight here. And just inside. It's a little more weight than I was expecting. I thought he'd try to keep his bowler out, but
Yeah. Really all you want is enough weight to stay underneath and clip that bowl, and if you miss it, you just want to be a couple feet by.
that hand does tend to sort of slide off though, so even with the added weight, he might have just drawn right off into the side ditch here too, so it might not have mattered.
Yeah. Ben's just talking to himself at the back there.
I think Braeden's going around the back, trying to cover the tee.
He's holding 2 or 3 already, so there's no need to crowd the head and give Ben a bigger target, so he just wants to make sure he's in the back area.
If you could see that ball, that really fought the bias the whole way down, and that just did not want to come back. I thought he was going to be right on the tee, but did not finish.
It's a little more controlled weight.
Don't think it's just around.
Yeah, just not going to come back.
So that could be 3 for Braeden. That could be a real turning point right now. Ben was clawing his way back into this game, but that 3's going to hurt.
Yeah, Braeden's take a commanding lead on this, and
Well,
only
we've
a
been
few
talking.
points left.
Quite a few games have finished while we've been talking. I believe Cam LaFrenz just won his game. The women are off, which I believe was a win to Kara Webster. Down on the far rink, Grant Wilkie's up 14-8. One rink closer, Owen Kirby's up 11-9. And next door, Brandon Watson's up 16-4. It's a pretty lengthy measure here. Do you like string measures, or do you like the metal measures?
I'm always for string measures. Those, for me, the metal tapes are a little too stiff. And I always find after a couple uses they get a few kinks in them, and then you're kind of messing up your look. So I do prefer the string measures. They also allow you to do ditch measures a little easier because they're a little more flexible and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, I would second that. I'm the same way. I prefer a good string measure over a metal measure.
I'm not surprised I got the umpire in here. It's every point is critical from this point on, with Braeden being that far ahead.
It's far enough away that they need 2 umpires here, and I think Paul's pulling out a wedge to try to keep that ball
Yeah, I'm
away.
surprised they didn't wedge it before they measured it, but maybe they weren't quite touching. Remeasure from one bowl to the other. That's always a good option. You don't want to do just one measure because things like that can happen where you tug it a little bit too much or you just let it go. It's really close.
Yeah, must be pretty close. Paul's saying that orange one was touching, but this blue one wasn't.
Yeah.
So that's another one for Braeden, so that should be 3, I believe.
Yeah.
To make it 18-7.
Let's see if Ben can scrounge up some shots here and pull himself back up. It's been done in the past, so wouldn't be surprised to see something like that here. But Braeden's definitely been playing very consistent through the whole match.
So according to our schedule, the next game's supposed to start at 12:15, but we are really just flying along here. I don't imagine that we'll need to wait that long unless they plan on having lunch here at 10:30. If everybody else finishes up here quickly, we'll probably wait a half hour after the last people are off and get back out there, I would think. So
Good opening bowl from Ben here.
So stay tuned to our social media, Facebook and Twitter. We'll try to let you know when we're going live.
And Braeden with a great answer here.
Great answer there.
Drop for
Braeden.
shot.
Yeah. Beauty bowl. I didn't notice it until right now, even though I've been announcing it, but over on Rink 6, that's actually the rematch of the gold medal match for the under-18s.
It is. That is true.
Owen and Carter. Only just dawned on me right now.
Great conversion shot from Braeden there. Even if he popped Ben out and sat for 2, that would have been a...
I believe that's what he was aiming for, was looking to push Ben through, but cut a little too quick. I think Ben's now looking to push Braeden through, but he's
it's
quite
not
wide.
Want to draw.
Quite wide.
So Jake, working up in the ivory tower up in BCB in Ottawa. I know you don't get too much bowling, but you did bowl this year. So how much do you miss bowling and getting into competitions like this?
It's really hitting me hard for this one in particular, just because I used to play in the juniors and under 25s for many years, and seeing some familiar faces, it's given me that itch to get out and bowl and see if I can still beat some of these guys. Would love to win the chance to go back to Australia, down on Gold Coast, Broad Beach, to play in the World Junior Championships, or World Youth Championships as it's called now. Yeah, no, it's been interesting. Working 9 to 5 or whatever the actual hours are, talking about bowls all day. It's sort of taken away from the desire to bowl 24/7 as it used to be. But no, it was great to play at WOBA, see some familiar faces, and really get out there and play a lot of bowls, which was good. I really do miss playing in some of the tournaments down in Southern Ontario, Niagara Falls, Kitchener, St. Mary's, Burlington, what have you.
There should be 2 here for Braeden if it
I believe
based on
looks
our
like 2.
angle, but it's definitely been great to see you out bowling again. I know everybody was happy to see you, and
I know I still have the option to bowl up in the Ottawa area. Anna's been pushing for me to get a membership at Nepean, but I've just found lately I'd rather spend time with the girlfriend and get to tour Ottawa a little bit, and that desire to bowl just hasn't been as strong lately. I'm sure once I move on to a different job and I'm not talking bowls 24/7, I'll get back into a regular groove of playing tournaments every weekend like I used to. That is one nice thing about living in Ontario, is that there's usually a tournament every weekend, whether it's a district playdown, a provincial playdown, or a local tourney somewhere. Lots of options to bowl if you're so inclined. That was just one there for Braeden. Looked like two from here. A little bit of action down on rink 7 there. Grant Wilkie just made a nice drive. You can hear his "oh yeah" as he makes it. Kool-Aid man.
I know it's been busy up in BCB with all the changes to the championships and conditions of play and rules, and also running all these championships this year. But you guys have been doing a great job and trying to keep everybody informed. I know I've seen a lot of the news releases and tweets and Facebook posts.
Yeah, I've been working extra hard this year trying to make up for lost ground. As some of you may know, Katie Gardner, our communications coordinator, moved on to bigger and better things with her husband. I think they're working at a hotel winery combo right now, and they're doing great, but that means we had to bring in someone new, so we have Sarah Moss now as our new communications coordinator. She's learning quickly on the go. But yeah, with the new changes for 2018, the new championships, that's been a pretty big undertaking. It's been a long process. That's been going on for I think 2 years now, so I'm happy to finally get things moving along, but it hasn't been easy, that's for sure. We're in the midst of translating that massive report, which I believe is some 30-40 pages. And once that's done being translated, that'll be up on the website, so you'll be able to see all of the changes that'll be going on for 2018 and beyond.
It should make for an exciting year.
I do hope so. I do hope so. You know, everybody always has their opinions, but one of the main focuses of these changes was sustainability and player development are two of the big ones. There's, I believe, 10 competition principles that we tried to meet, but I don't think many people understand that the current format right now, with 7 championships, BCB's putting in close to 100,000 each year into these, and that's a huge portion of our budget. It makes it pretty unsustainable when you're spending so much money on 7 events. And not just for us, but for players and for host organizers. So we're looking for ways to make things a little more efficient.
I think once people see some of these changes in action and get a chance to actually play in it and have a year under their belt, it'll be better for everybody to understand and see what's being done. So
I'm sure there'll be a few small tweaks and changes that'll need to be made. As
great bowl from here.
Yeah,
Holy smokes.
Beautiful bowl day from Ben.
Yeah.
But hopefully it's for the best.
Ben picking up a good end here, bring himself closer to catching up to Braeden. Now he's got to roll this and try to snowball it into a few more +1s and +2s and close that gap.
You know, one good thing that I can really say about undergoing this competition review process is that I think we can now finally say what the purpose of each event is. If I were to ask you this year, you know, what's the point of the mixed pairs? Or what's the point of some of these tournaments? For the under-25s, it's kind of obvious. As you say, the winner goes to Gold Coast, represent Canada at the World Youth Championships. But what demographic is the mixed pair serving? Well, I think we can finally answer that now, as each event is targeted towards a specific development group. And that's sort of a really good starting point if you can define who you're trying to target for each event.
Absolutely.
Great opening bowl there from Ben. He's really coming alive.
Yeah. Thriving under pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes those final points are just hard to come by, so Braden's just looking to squeak out a 1 or a 2 here and start shutting that door.
I think Braeden might be setting up some position there first.
Yeah.
Getting ready for later if need be.
I wonder if he's recalling the drills I put him through yesterday, because this was one of them. So.
That's right. That's right. They went through 8 different rinks of having a bowl either in front of a jack, behind a jack, or beside a jack, I think.
Yep. And you had 2 bowls. What do you do with your first bowl to set yourself up for the second bowl? I had players playing all different types of shots, whether it was weighted, draw, etc., etc. And all you're trying to do is, with your first bowl, make a good enough shot to improve the head and give yourself a really good chance of getting shot on that second one. So
I was pleasantly surprised how many people were connecting on their first bowl to push the bowl through or grab the jack on their way by.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people made that first bowl count. Braden's winding up here for a drive. Just let it go, and he's inside, I think, yeah. A lot of good angles there to throw into. You can get the inside edge of Ben's short bowl. You might get both.
Yeah, Ben's taking a close look at it, maybe to see if he can change some of those angles or where it's going to go if Braeden does connect.
Next door, I think Brandon Watson just won 21-4 over Michael Fraser. That leaves only 2 other rinks still going. The rematch of the juniors is all tied up at 12 between Owen Kirby and Carter Watson. And then further on down, Grant Wilkie's up 17-11 over Alex LeBlanc. Which I'm sure Grant must be happy with that. He only flew in, I think he got in at 3 a.m. this morning.
Yeah.
Had a bit of a delay in Toronto.
Yeah, I think I chatted with him this morning, and he's running on caffeine and adrenaline right now.
Well, it seems to be working right now. He's got a 6-point lead in the game. He's changed his delivery since I last saw him. I don't think he used to hold his elbow with his non-bowling hand.
Yeah. Well, he's part of the youth and development squads that I work with, and I know he's been in contact with me to work on delivery, sent me some videos to analyze, give him some pointers, and also just work on the mental side of the game. How does he plan out a game? How does he deal with pressure and with certain situations? And the back and forth has been really good, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him make a good run here. Wow. He even got the double push.
He got the double. Once I saw him hit the jack, I thought that was going to pop back to the side, but no, it just moved to maybe an inch.
As we said, these guys are not afraid to throw.
So that should be 1 for Braeden, I would think.
That's the way it looks, yeah. I'm sure he'll be more than happy to take that, take the jack, and see if he can set this head up to his advantage.
As I'm monitoring Facebook and Twitter right now, it's great how every time we're streaming a game, I'm always getting a whole bunch of new followers on Facebook for our Bulls Canada page. I'm not sure if that's friends and families of people playing right now. So people tune in to stream and say, hey, you know what, I'll start following Bulls Canada. Which is great. Get your friends and family involved. Spread the word. The more likes, the better. Braden's playing a bit longer of a jack here, more of a mid-length instead of short.
And a fantastic opening
Great
bowl to
opening.
start it off.
I think he can smell victory here. He just needs one to put this game to bed. It's a really difficult position for Ben right now to know that you have to count every end from here till the rest of the game. Can't give up a single shot.
Yeah. Braeden coming up short and wide on that one. Ben just wanted to know where his last bowl ended up. Probably about 3 feet in front.
Mm-hmm. He's made some adjustments here.
Very
That's
close.
Very close.
Just sliding by.
Just through.
But he's got great position for that bowl. He can make another shot and even hold 2.
I'm sure Braden's going to be a little careful here. Doesn't want to give it away. I think he's just throwing a guard. And he's trying to plug up that line, I think. Not a huge fan of throwing guards, personally. I never like doing it. I would much rather change an angle or get ready for if they make it.
Ben just coming up short on that one. He needed probably about 4 or 5 more feet to make that shot count. Yeah, guards are the hardest shot to play. It's really difficult to guard a good player. If you put it in a great spot for whatever the draw is, a good player will either up his weight or down his weight just a bit to get over and under that bowl and make the shot anyway. So it's very, very difficult. That makes it very difficult for Ben now. But
That's a great ball there from Braeden.
we'll see what Ben's looking at. Does he try that draw again down the side, or does he play up to Braden's bowl on the ditch side and even push it out and sit 2?
As much as I've been hesitant to talk much about this ditch hand side, they seem to have found it pretty good, so I wouldn't be surprised if he plays the ditch side.
No, it wouldn't be either.
Just to try to find Braden's bowl.
Looks more beneficial to him, and that's what it looks like he's going to do.
He's playing a little aggressively, I think. That's a bit more than a draw, but he's way inside.
Yeah.
So that's the game for Braeden Campbell. 21-9 is the final score. And the other 2 rinks down at the far end. Grant Wilkie is up 17-12 over Alex LeBlanc, and Carter Watson's up 14-13 over Owen Kirby as we speak. Can't really get a good angle of those games, so we're going to call it for now. Once those rounds are done, we'll take a short break, and we'll be back live with the next game, which will be one of the women's matches. So stay tuned to our Facebook or Twitter, and we'll let you know when we're going live.
See you soon.